Hey everyone and welcome back. So I have some news updates because we now have the Arrow announcements for December. So they're final titles for the year, including one that I think a lot of us have been waiting for a very long time. I also have a new announcement from Second Sight in the UK, which I think is a pretty cool announcement, as well as two studio ones that I'm going to get to actually right now. I want to just get those out of the way. So first up from Paramount, due out on December 5th, is a 4K release of Titanic, James Cameron's Titanic. Now, this is a big deal because a lot of James Cameron's films have been sort of on hold in many ways when it's come to the 4K format, and a couple of them even with a Blu-ray format. Now, this is good on one end. Obviously, we're getting Titanic in 4K, which is great, but also, just this past week, James Cameron introduced a screening of the new 4K restoration of The Abyss, which, needless to say, is long overdue. Now, with that 4K restoration actually now officially done, hopefully, at some point next year, we should be getting an actual release of it on disc. And I'm hoping not too far behind is going to be True Lies and also the first Terminator. And I might be the only one, but honestly, I wouldn't even mind a 4K release of Piranha 2: The Spawning. If he actually wanted to oversee a 4K release of that, probably not. Probably not. So I did want to mention that because finally we should get some of those very, very long overdue James Cameron films on 4K and also Blu-ray, because obviously The Abyss and True Lies specifically has never even been released on Blu-ray. So at the very least, God willing, we should be getting The Abyss next year. And next up, coming November 14th from Universal, is a 4K release of Duel, the Steven Spielberg film, which is very, very cool. For those of you who don't know, I'm sure most of you do, but in case you don't, Duel was actually Steven Spielberg's first feature film, and it was actually a made-for-TV film, but it was released theatrically in other countries. And it was off the strength of that film that he went on to do, I think, Sugarland Express, I think, was the one I did after that. And then obviously his career sort of started to take off once, obviously, after Jaws came out. But so this is cool that we're getting a 4K release, and it does have a 4K transfer from the original camera negative. Will be in HDR, and we'll also have a brand new Dolby Atmos track, and it looks like it's porting over all of the extras that have been on previous releases. I think a lot of these actually go back to the DVD, but I'm glad that they're all being ported over. I did want to mention that because actually I really, really like that film. In fact, I saw it again not too long ago. It was kind of funny. It was one of those nights that kind of worked out pretty good for me. I wasn't originally going to watch it, but Svengoolie was showing it one night, and I was doing something else, and I sort of had Svengoolie on in the background. I ended up just watching the whole thing anyway, and it's cool because it had been a while. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to checking it out in 4K. Retails are $29.98. Obviously, it should be cheaper come closer to release date. I believe that one might be up on Amazon right now. If it is, I will link it down below. And next up, due out November 27th from Second Sight in the UK, is a 4K and a Blu-ray release of the movie High Tension. And similar to some of their recent releases, there will be actually 3 versions available depending on what you want. There'll be a Blu-ray standard release. Now the Blu-ray, because this is a UK company, will be region B locked. There'll be a standard 4K release, and luckily 4K, region free, and then there'll be a limited edition version that'll have both the 4K and the Blu-ray included. Now the limited edition, obviously because it comes with both the 4K and the Blu-ray disc, also has one of those harder outer boxes, and it comes with a 70-page book with new essays all about the film, as well as 6 collector's art cards. And then as far as the special features go, I believe special features are on, whichever version you go disc-wise. I believe you'll get them on all of it. So first up, it does obviously have a new 4K transfer, which was approved by director Alexander Aja. Has a new audio commentary track by Dr. Lindsay Hallam, an experiment in suspense, a new interview with Alexander Aja. The Man in the Shadows, a new interview with writer Gregory Levasseur. The Darker the Better, an interview with cinematographer Maxime Alexander. The Great French Massacre, an interview with special effects artist Gianetto De Rossi. Only the Brave, Alexander Heller Nicholas on High Tension. An archive making-of featurette. An archive interview with Cecil de France. Archive interview with Mai Wen. And an archive interview with Philippe Nahon. So another cool release from Second Sight. Again, for those of you outside of the UK, you are going to have to import it. Although last I checked, I do believe, I think Diabolic DVD has it up for pre-order, which is most likely where I'm going to pre-order it from. And I'm sure a couple other places will have it as well. If you're at the places like Grindhouse Video and a couple other places. And obviously you in the UK will have no problems getting whichever version you want to get. And of course, I love Second Sight and the releases. They always put that much extra effort into everything that they do. Can't wait for their release of The Hitcher next year. And now we get to the Arrow December titles. So definitely an interesting assortment of releases here, and definitely some ones that are going to have interesting reactions. But first up, God, what order should I do these? Actually, all right, I'm going to do these, kind of jump around just a little bit, because there's only one that is actually coming out in both the US, Canada, and UK, and that is a release of Savage Guns 4 Classic Westerns Volume 3, coming to Blu-ray. I assume it'll be region locked, depending on which version you get. But luckily, we can all get it. Set for December 12th and retails for $99.95. Now, what's cool about this one is actually it's got some good films in it. So there's 4 westerns included. It has 2K restorations of all 4 films from the original 35mm camera negatives, with El Puro newly restored by Arrow Films for this release as Italian and English front and end titles on all 4 films, and has restored original lossless mono Italian and English soundtracks on all 4 films. And before I get too far ahead, the 4 films are, so disc 1 is going to have I Want Him Dead, with a new commentary by critics Adrian Smith and David Flint, as well as The Man Who Hated Violence, a brand new interview with director Paolo Bianchini, Cut and Shot, brand new interview with editor Eugenio Alabiso, Nico Unchained, archival interview with composer Nico Fedenko, an English theatrical trailer, as well as an image gallery, and then disc 2 will have El Puro, 2 versions of the film, the 98-minute cut presented in Italian and English, and the longer 108-minute version, assembled from the original camera negative and an archival print and presented in both Italian and a newly created hybrid English-Italian mix. So I assume they're kind of doing something that, I think they did this with a couple other Italian films where, you know, they don't have the English things. They'll just switch to Italian real quick with some subtitles. It doesn't bother me. I know some people kind of find it a little jarring when it kind of does that, but actually, it doesn't bother me that much. Brand new audio commentary by critic Troy Howarth and Nathaniel Thompson. Brand new interview with actor Robert Woods. Brand new in-depth appreciation of the soundtrack and its composer, Alessandro Alessandroni, by musician and disc collector Lovely John. Disc 3 has the film Wrath of the Wind, and that's going to have an alternate 106-minute Spanish language version of the film, featuring additional and extended scenes not found in the Italian or English versions. Brand new audio commentary by author and critic Howard Hughes. The Days of Wrath, a brand new interview with camera operator Robert Diattore Piazzoli. I think I got that one. They Call It Red Cemetery, a short film from 2022 by filmmaker Francisco Lacerda, serving as a love letter to the spaghetti western genre. An alternate Revenge of the Trinity opening titles newly restored for this release, as well as an image gallery. And then finally, disc 4, which is definitely the film I'm most excited about for this set, is the Lucio Fulci film 4 of the Apocalypse. Been waiting on a new release of that, because I don't think that's been out, at least not here in the States anyway, I think since DVD? I think it was a Blue Underground DVD, if I remember correctly. So, and this is going to have a new audio commentary by author and producer Kat Ellinger. It Takes 4, previously unreleased interview with production manager Roberto Sabaragia. Maybe? Close enough. A brand new in-depth appreciation of the film by author, critic, and Lucio Fulci scholar Stephen Thrower. Brand new in-depth appreciation of the soundtrack and its composers Franco Bixio, Fabio Frizzi, great Fabio Frizzi, and Vince Tempera by musician and disc collector Lovely John, a newly restored theatrical trailer, as well as an image gallery. So nice assortment of westerns here, and I do like that they have also a couple of alternate cuts. And I'm definitely really happy for 4 of the Apocalypse. So long overdue. And I think that's the only one that's actually is going to get a multi-region release for the month of December from Arrow. Next up is a US and Canada only title set for December 5th. And that is a Blu-ray release of the movie Day of the Locust. Retails for $39.95, up for pre-order right now for $28, at least on the Arrow website. Has a brand new 2K restoration by Arrow Films from the original negative, an original restored lossless mono audio, optional restored lossless 5.1 and 2.0 stereo audio options, so you can have actually a couple audio options, which is good. Brand new oral history audio commentary conducted by writer and film historian Lee Gambin. Welcome to West Hollywood, a brand new appreciation of the film by critic Glenn Kenny. Days of the Golden Age, Costume historian and film historian Lisa Rose discusses the film's costumes in this brand new visual essay. Jeepers Creepers, Where'd You Get Those Peepers? Brand new visual essay on the film and its themes by writer and film historian Lee Gambin. Image galleries, including exclusive behind-the-scenes photographs from the archives of production associate Michael Chillers and assistant camera operator Ron Vidor, as well as a collectible booklet. So I think that one has been kind of another one that I'm not sure if it even got a release. I think it's one of those that hasn't been released since DVD, I think. And again, that one is US and Canada only, so I would assume that it's probably going to be region A locked. And we got 2 more releases. I'm trying to think, which one should I... Let's do this one first. So coming to the UK only is a new... it's going to be 2 separate releases, a 4K release and a separate Blu-ray release of the Chucky films. There's going to be a box set of the Chucky films for those in the UK. Obviously, we've gotten them here in separate releases from Scream Factory, but now you can get them in the UK if you didn't want to import them. Now, there is one thing that I'm going to get to in just a moment. So first up, obviously, because this is a UK release, the Blu-ray set will be region B locked, and I believe in the 4K set, there are 2 Blu-ray discs, and I assume those are going to be region B locked as well. So as far as the 4K disc, because this is the one that's going to have some interesting things kind of going on here. So as far as I can tell, let's see. So it has every film up until Cult of Chucky. So Child's Play 2, Child's Play 3, Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, Curse of Chucky, and then Cult of Chucky are all 4K releases. I don't see anything here. I'm assuming these are probably the same 4K masters that were probably used for the Scream Factory ones, because I assume these are just all coming from Universal. And these are just loaded with extras. You can see on Child's Play 2, you have the original stereo track, you got a Dolby Atmos track, commentary interviews you can see here. So here's Child's Play 2, here's Child's Play 3, which again, commentary tracks, interviews. I know I'm sort of skipping through some of these, but hopefully I'm holding these up on the screen long enough so you guys can see them. Bride of Chucky, same thing. Commentary tracks, which I think some of them are being ported over in previous releases. Some archival interviews. Seed of Chucky, which will have both the theatrical version and the unrated version. Again, as well as audio commentaries, interviews, behind the scenes. You can see all that stuff here. Curse of Chucky, which will be the unrated version. And again, same thing, commentary with the director, interviews, all that stuff here, deleted scenes, all that fun stuff. And then finally, Cult of Chucky, which again will also be the unrated version of the film. And again, commentary, interviews, behind the scenes, deleted scenes, trailers, all that fantastic stuff. Now, there's 2 things. There's 2 Blu-rays included. So there is one of the documentary Living with Chucky, which is very cool that it's included, but it's going to be on a Blu-ray only, and I'm pretty sure that Blu-ray is going to be region B locked. Obviously, if you're in the UK, it doesn't matter. I will say the one thing that does seem to suck about this release is the fact that the very first Child's Play, that's why I skipped over it initially, is Blu-ray only. I don't know why it's not in 4K. I mean, I can make a guess, and I'll cover that in just a second, but unfortunately it is Blu-ray only, and it even says here it's a 2012 high-definition Blu-ray from MGM. It does include a nice assortment of extras, but because it is Blu-ray only, I'm guessing that for whatever reason they couldn't get the 4K rights to that. Now, I do know that some of that can get kind of tricky, because unlike all the other Chucky films, which are with Universal, the very first Child's Play is the only one that's with MGM. And I know the rights then become a little bit more complicated. So I'm not sure what's going on there, because I do know Arrow has a relationship with MGM. At least they used to, anyway. So I don't know why that's a Blu-ray only, unfortunately. Other than that, though, it actually looks like it's a nice set. I do like that it is all of them in one set. And the retail price is £119.99. Which sounds like actually a real great price considering all the films you're getting. And again, there are 2 versions of it. There's a 4K set, which obviously has at least the sequels in 4K, and then a Blu-ray set where, again, everything is just on Blu-ray only. And there is a Arrow exclusive. I think that's the 4K only, not the Blu-ray, which is an Arrow store exclusive, which you can see here. Now, the only difference with this is that it looks like, I think the only difference is the box color. So instead of yellow, it's blue, unless there's something else I'm not seeing here. What's the difference? Anything? Doesn't look like it. Maybe I'm missing something, but it looks like the only difference is the outer box is blue. So if you have affinity for blue instead of yellow, definitely you have an option. But again, that would be an Arrow Store exclusive, and that is for the 4K only. And then finally, the last title for December, coming December 12th, retailing for $59.95, is a 4K. This is a US and Canada only, unfortunately. Luckily, it will be a 4K release. Don't know why this isn't in the UK as well, but I'm guessing, again, rights issues. But it's a new 4K release, finally, of The Warriors. And what's great is that, yes, it will have both cuts, not just that, director's cut, which is kind of I'm sure I speak for a lot of you where it's like, it's fine, but we prefer the original theatrical cut. And luckily, that is here. So it's got a new 4K restoration of both the theatrical cut and the 2005 alternate version of the film, sourced from the original camera negative, supervised by Arrow Films, and approved by director Walter Hill. Will be in Dolby Vision, and the theatrical cut will be presented in its original aspect ratio of 1.85 to 1 for the first time on home video. The original mono plus a stereo track and a Dolby Atmos track for the theatrical cut, plus a stereo, and a 5.1 for the 2005 alternate cut. So a couple of audio options there, which is cool. Always appreciate that. And thank God the original theatrical mix is included. Now, this limited edition will have a 100-page book, limited edition packaging, as well as a poster and 6 postcard-sized reproduction cards and a gang logo sticker. So again, there will be 2 different versions, a 4K release as well as a separate Blu-ray release. Again, I assume the Blu-ray will be region A, luckily 4K region free. So, and I think in both cases, basically it's pretty much the same. So disc 1 will have the theatrical cut, and it looks like pretty much all the extras, like a new commentary track with film critic Walter Chaw, author of a Walter Hill film, War Stories, a new interview with director Walter Hill, new roundtable discussion with other filmmakers as they discuss their love of the Warriors and the work of Walter Hill, Battling Boundaries, a new interview with editor Billy Weber, Gang Style, a new interview with the costume designer Bobby Mannix, Armies of the Night, a new exclusive look at costume designs and photographs from the archive of designer Bobby Mannix, Sound of the Streets, a new appreciation of composer Barry Dvorak, and the music of the Warriors by film historian Neil Brand, an isolated score option, which is cool, Come Out to Play, a new look at the iconic locations of the Warriors' Coney Island home turf, The Beginning, an archival extra looking back on how the Warriors came to be, Battleground, an archival extra in which director Walter Hill and assistant director David Osuzna look back at the difficulties of shooting on location in New York City. The Way Home, an archival extra focusing on the look of the film with contributions by director of photography Andrew Laszlo. The Phenomenon, an archival extra featuring director Walter Hill and the cast of the Warriors, a theatrical trailer, and an image gallery. And then disc 2, we'll have that 2005 alternate cut with an archive introduction by director Walter Hill. So again, it's so exciting. We're finally getting the Warriors, not only in 4K, but also, for a lot of us, finally getting the theatrical cut. And there will also be an Arrow Store exclusive, which you can see here, where you can get a version that'll have the original poster artwork on the outer box. And again, that is set for December 12th. So definitely a nice assortment of titles. I know, obviously, outside of the Chucky films, which I'm very happy that if you haven't been able to get, at the very least, the sequels in 4K, for those of you outside of the US and Canada, luckily you can get them now. Hopefully a lot easier. Still kind of weird that the original film, unfortunately, is not in 4K, but hopefully, maybe that's one you could easily import. So I think that's basically everything for this video. Obviously, there's a lot here to kind of go through. And of course, we're almost at the point where we should be also, probably another, week or 2 or so, we should be getting the Scream Factory announcements for December. Actually, we'll get the Vinegar Syndrome October titles. Kind of interested to see what they're going to do for October. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot more stuff coming as well. So let me know your thoughts on all of these announcements. If you have any questions, definitely let me know. And as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.